Yo, what up? It's your man, Dan. And I have returned, finally, with some more Guilty Gear Strive. So, this is the second round of the beta. Or should I say the second beta? So yeah, this beta was up for 2 days, like the last one. I guess you could say 2.5 days, maybe 3. Somewhere around there. But 2 full days for sure. It's Friday and Saturday. This beta, they added Anji and Aino, and they were pretty popular this time around. So of course, we was on the beta from when it started, pretty much to when it ended, just completely burning it down. We wasted no time, and we returned with Frederick Bolsaw, aka Soul Badguy, aka Danger Dan. And we up against Anji, or should I say Troy and Anji. So yeah, the very first set was against Troy, as you might have expected. I can't really start a game until I've fought Troy, you know? It's just like, it's what I'm comfortable with, it's what I'm familiar with. You know, it doesn't matter what the game is. If me and Troy both play it, I don't feel like I've really started playing the game until I fight Troy. You know, because I need to see if the stuff I'm doing is adequate. You know, Troy will be the one to instill the confidence in me that what I'm doing is actually valid. You know, not to say I don't believe in myself, but to say I respect Troy's opinion, and his opinion is important to me when it comes to fighting games. You know, so for the majority of this beta, Troy was playing Anji, which didn't surprise me. He was saying Anji was going to be someone that he was focused on, and he seemed to really be having fun with him, which was cool. Now, the thing about Anji is he was really difficult for me to fight because I didn't realize that he has gaps in his record that you can expose if you either got a fast enough button or a DP. And I didn't even try to interrupt it with a DP just because I didn't think I could, you know, and I wasn't really like overly reliant on my DP just because there were a lot of situations where my DP was losing and I was just like, this shouldn't be. It really took like the wind out of my sails when it came to using my DP. Now, if you remember the last videos, or rather the last set of videos from the first beta, I did a lot of talking about how I wanted to improve Soul. And honestly, I think that I actually followed through on everything, if not most of the things that I was talking about the first time around. You know, as far as my conversions, my decisions, my choices, understanding how to follow through on certain buttons like that. Like it was much cleaner this time, you know, and we'll get to see that like in full. Of course, I used Soul the entire beta. I didn't switch. I did practice with Giovanna a bit. When the game comes out, I'm definitely going to use her. But for the 2 days of the beta, I was just like, nah, I'm going to just use Soul. And I was having a lot of fun. The only bad thing is that on the last night that I played, which was Saturday night, I don't know what was going on, but I could not get consistent ranked matches. Like, I would get a match, and then I would have to wait like 5 or 10 minutes for the next match. Not because there weren't any people to fight. It's just like everybody was fighting each other, or I would get a match and it would either fail to match up with opponent, or the match would start and it would like DC before the first round even finished and kick me back to the main menu. You know, it was pretty annoying. And the way I solved the problem was so simple that it pissed me off, because it took me like 2 hours to think of the shit. And it was real simple. I just switched service. Once I did that, I literally had no more issues. I was able to play for the rest of the night. But ranked match was still dry because most of the people who want to do ranked match were already on the 11th floor. And I wasn't able to get there this time. Got to the 10th floor and stopped just like the first beta. It wasn't because I didn't think I could get to the 11th floor. I just didn't feel like, not even didn't feel like, I know that I didn't have enough time. You know, I was only going to be up for a couple more hours. I was already annoyed from getting constantly disconnected. So I was like, you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm going to get to the 10th floor, and then I'm going to just burn out the rest of the beta in the park. Which is what I did. So, I think that's enough of an explanation for now. Let me get to these matches now. Yeah, so Anji is pretty much a Rekka and a guard point parry. Rekka being an attack that has follow-up inputs that vary. So Fujin is the move he's going to see him use the most. Which is that move he just saw there. Fujin starts the Rekka. So from the Fujin, he could go low, he could go overhead, he could jump back and throw fireball, which is plus, or he could do nothing and just like do this little hop forward, and then the hop is hella fast recovery, so you can grab out of it. You could probably throw a normal out there. Everybody that I saw use it, because I fought other Anjis other than Troy, but every Anji that I fought, whenever they did the little short hop, they always went for a grab, always, because it transitions so well. It's almost like it transitions well enough to, if you're not paying attention, you'll think that the fake jump is the grab because it transitions so well. Because like he'll just do the fake and then grab you. So it feels like it's all one motion until you get used to seeing it, and then you realize you could just jump if you know the grab is coming. If you don't know the grab is coming and a button comes instead, you won't get hit. Ooh, nice. So, like I was saying, my damage was a lot more consistent this time around. My neutral still needs a lot of work, and I was guessing wrong on a lot of records. So you're gonna see counter hit a lot because I was trying to challenge the Rekka with my buttons. I was using far slash, close slash, and I was using 5K. 5K is 3 frames, so it's my fastest button, or Soul's fastest button, my fastest button. So I was using that, and it worked out maybe like twice. But then I didn't believe that it would work anymore, and I started to respect the block string. And once I respected it, that was basically when I lost. Like, no matter what would happen in the fight, because I was respecting the Rekka, it was real easy for Troy to get back into like rhythm. You know, because Anji is a momentum-based character. I feel like no matter who you are, in order to be good with Anji, you have to have like a snowball mindset. Now, as far as fighting games is concerned, Troy could play honestly any character that exists in a fighting game. But he's especially good with momentum-based characters. And Anji is super momentum heavy. Like, he just swings the match in his favor no matter how much health he has. And that goes hand in hand with what Troy does in fighting games. You know, like, it doesn't matter how much health he has, his energy don't change. You know, if anything, it feels like he gets scarier the lower his health gets, because it's almost like the lower his health gets, the less he cares. You know, because he doesn't really care, but when he has no health and one hit's gonna kill him anyway, he's just like, all right, well, I got nothing to lose. And him with nothing to lose is like, it's very, very threatening. It's very threatening when he just plays with what feels like reckless abandon. It gets scary because he's a madman, but he's calculated. You know, he's not really crazy. He feels like he's crazy, but he's not really crazy. So you might think, oh, okay, this nigga going crazy and he ain't paying attention to anything, so I just got to catch him slipping. And then you try to, and then he'll block or dodge, and then it's just like, oh shit. And then he'll like laugh at you and be like, huh, You really thought I was going out of my mind, didn't you? That happens to me often. It didn't happen too much in this beta. Because it was a learning experience for both of us. But I did learn a decent amount in the Anji matchup. The one thing I know for certain is that DP is going to be my best friend against him. So I really got to master the DP motion, which I haven't done. You know, a lot of times where I should DP, I either tried to and failed my input. I failed that RC. That was supposed to be a red. I pressed it too late. But yeah, I would either fail my DP input or I would just not do DP and probably go for like 6P, since they fixed the anti-airs in this game, or rather in this beta. 6P actually works. It wasn't working for me too well in the first beta. It was almost like it wasn't even a button. I was actually anti-airing more consistently this time around than I was last time. Although my anti-airs are still trash. Like, I'm really bad at anti-airing. You know, it's one of the reasons why fighting people who jump around a lot makes me so anxious. You know, because I know my anti-airs aren't that great. And I feel like my anti-airs are so bad that my opponent is going to realize that my anti-air is bad, even without me, like, really showing them. So they're going to be like, oh, I could jump in as much as I want. It's annoying. It's one of those things that's really difficult for me to work on, you know, because anti-airing is so different in every game that I play. You know, but the idea behind anti-airing is always the same. Oof. Completely whiffed that 5H. So I was whiffing a lot, but I mean, I whiff a lot in general in fighting games. He finally caught me with that counter super. That was the first time he used it. And it's funny because he had the opportunity to use it a few times. He could have used it and caught me slipping. So I had forgotten about it because he wasn't using it. And it was just like, doesn't he have a counter super? But I was like, oh, whatever. He's not using it. So once he starts using it, hopefully I'll be able to, like, see it. I was wrong. He did that shit, like, right before I hit him. There was no way for me to avoid it. It was like the perfect wake-up super. I was so mad when he hit me with that shit. I was like, right, you have a counter super. I totally forgot. Because I'm too focused on the fact that this is happening. See, I get knocked down once, and the momentum just completely gets taken away from me. It's like, me and Troy, we've been fighting each other for so long, right? And I feel like we both have a decent idea. Well, Troy has I feel like he has a better idea. I feel like we both have an idea of when the other wants to press a button. And I do have a pretty good idea in certain situations when Troy will press something. But even though I know that, I don't feel like that information helps me because I feel like he knows it too. When you see us fight, in this game especially, because this game screams counter, you see counter hit a lot when me and Troy are playing fighting games because I'm constantly pressing buttons and he's constantly pressing buttons before me. It's so annoying. I'm pretty sure if you play fighting games and you got like somebody that you've been playing for years and they probably always had the upper hand, then you can understand what I'm saying. When it feels like the person you're fighting always knows when you want to press a button and they always press a button before you consistently in every game. It feels like no matter what game I'm fighting this nigga in, he knows, or at least it always seems like he knows when I want to press a button because his button always hits mine. And I'm just like, damn, it's almost like he knew I was about to press because I felt like he was about to press. It's like he always makes reads on my reads. And it's like, it's really annoying. It's so difficult for me to beat him. So difficult. Right, this is the latest game we playing, and just like every game, you see, this is a good example. You see, it says counter hit every time he swings. It says counter hit because I'm pressing a button because I feel that he's gonna press a button. So I'm just like, yo, I'm not gonna stand here and block. I want to see if I can challenge, you know. And then you end up getting perfect. I don't like that they pronounce his name Angie in this game. Like, I'm gonna say Angie, obviously. I don't do the Angie pronunciation. Looks like Angie to me. The butterfly isn't scary in this game. I guess in certain situations, like if you get a grab or if you get a sweep, counter hit sweep, most likely. I missed that. I held the vortex too long. So I did come up with a B&B mid-screen. It takes meter, but it gives you a wall break, pretty much automatic. And it does a pretty good amount of damage. People were saying Soul was still one of the best characters. I mean, I think I can see why people say that. Like, he has every tool you need in this game, right? He has every tool you need in this game. Even though he doesn't do anything spectacularly, he does everything good. You know, he got good buttons. He has somewhat of a projectile, a gun flame. He got 2 buttons that can say fuck neutral and move him across the screen. He got a DP. His damage is very good. Very good. Now, you might say he does too much damage. Honestly, I don't think so. Just because it's the nature of the character. Like, he's supposed to hit you hard enough to make you remember that you got hit by him. And make you not want to get hit by him again. You know? He don't do as much damage as fucking Potemkin. He ain't doing as much damage as May. And I think every character in this game has similar damage potential. So as far as like the damage, just like in the first beta, I don't have any issues with the damage in this game. I think it works. You know, the biggest issue people will have when judging this game is comparing it to other Guilty Gears, and you can't do that. It's a general rule of fighting games, especially in this generation and like this new era of fighting games that's starting. The fighting games are getting easier and they are becoming more simple. Like, you can't compare these newer games to the older games because you're just gonna disappoint yourself constantly, perpetually. Feel me? And that's what people who are like used to playing the older Guilty Gear games will do. You know, like the older heads will always be like, oh, I don't like this game because it ain't as good as the old one. Combo system ain't as extensive. Yellow RC don't cost 25, it costs 50 now. And I can't go brazy with abusing the mechanics that an anime game has. You take all of that away, and this Guilty Gear is probably like, it's very similar to Street Fighter. You know, the size of the screen, the size of the field, the character shapes, the pace that the game goes. It's like as close to Street Fighter as an anime game that I've seen. You know, very neutral heavy. And the pace shifts so consistently. You know, it goes from slow to fast to slow. Like, honestly, I really enjoyed the game. And, you know, it lived up to my expectations. Once the actual game comes out, I'll be much happier. Because I don't like having to play with a limit. You know, like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I could because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to play it as long as I wanted. I wanted to just play, but I had to play and think, oh, the beta's going to end and I'm going to have to stop playing. So I was playing with a sense of urgency as opposed to playing with a sense of comfort, you know? And I didn't end up talking about any of these matches. But, you know, the first video was meant for my explanations. But we're coming to the end here. So I lost every match in this video. More than likely, I think in total, I got like 2, maybe 3 games off Troy. I think 2. Like, I got 2 games off him in this whole beta. I think I only got 1 game off Anji. Bang! And I think that was it. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, look forward to the rest of the Strive videos that's going to be coming out this week. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Hit that comment section if you was excited for the next beta. And if you played it. And also, shit, if you ran into me. And, you know, subscribe if you're new to the channel and want to see some more Strive videos, especially when the game actually comes out. All that being said, man, Danger Dan, signing off.